Hey, what's up guys, Truth here, and today I'm going to be going a little bit more in-depth about how to be a better and more effective recon player in Armored Kill. And these are by no means the ultimate and pro tips, these are just some tactics that have helped me become a better recon player in these new DLC maps. And as far as today's gameplay, it's going to be a round of Conquest on the map Armored Shield. I'm sorry, my rush files got corrupted so I can't show them to you guys. But as far as the tactics on Armored Shield I'm going to give to you guys, you can take a lot of them over to the other 3 Conquest maps in the DLC. They're going to be similar, but obviously not identical. As far as my weapon of choice today, it's going to be the UMP-45 because I'm more of an aggressive recon player as opposed to a passive and bolt action sniping one. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want to say is that Recon's equipment is so incredibly powerful. The respawn beacon and the MAV are vital pieces of equipment to use to your advantage. Now, what did you see me do in my the first clip there? I put down my spawn beacon in a building, and that is incredibly important if you want to spawn directly on it. The reason for that is if you put it out in the open, most likely you'll have to parachute down. So if you want to spawn right on your beacon, be sure to put it in a building. Also, the location of my beacon is in between 2 flags that are relatively close together. The reason for that is it gives me a viewpoint across 2 objectives as opposed to just 1. That's a pretty strategic spot to put your respawn beacon down, allowing you to see action on 2 flags. So what about engagements? Engagements are incredibly important to really kind of, I don't know, practice or just get right when playing as a recon. Your weapon is not going to be nearly as powerful as a lot of assault rifles and carbines for the most part. In some situations, they will be better, but oftentimes not. So what should you do? Use cover to your advantage. Use buildings, use terrain. Just find some way to give yourself an advantage in a gunfight. Don't be stupid. Don't just run around like a madman out in the middle of the street trying to gun guys down. Oftentimes, you will die doing that. Now, as far as my map placement this life, what a horrible job. Don't do what I did. Learn from my mistake. That was a bad spot for my map. It got easily destroyed. What should I have done? Put it up here with me. That way it can stay alive and it can actually be used. Down there, it really did me no good because the enemy team took it out pretty quick. Now, unfortunately, right here, this piece of plywood or whatever that is just comes flying in my face and I get gunned down because I couldn't see anything. That was just kind of more bad luck. So, as a recon player, you really have nothing against vehicles. Some guys like to SOFLAM, however, I find that it's much more effective to use motion sensors around flags and capture objectives and gain map control that way as opposed to laser designate. But because you really have nothing going for you against vehicles, you need a fast way of traveling. You need to be getting around these vehicles without taking any damage, and ATVs are the way to go. But I will warn you, don't be afraid to bail off the back if you're riding with a random teammate in just some random pub match, because you never know what they're going to do. If they're just going to sit there on the, in the middle of a capture point area, just wide open middle of the road, no. Bail out right away and make sure you get in cover. Now, what I do just there a second ago, put down my map, and coming up right here, it's going to save my butt. This is an illustration of really why you need to just put your motion sensors down. Took some fire from, I think it was a tank destroyer, I believe. So I pulled back. I'm going to get behind some cover, just kind of, just take it easy. I'm not obviously going to go try to take him out because I really can't do much to him, but I'm just going to get some separation, and I'm not too worried because I got my MAV down, got my motion sensor. If something, tries to come after me, I can see it on the minimap, and sure enough, coming right up here, there's going to be a support player pops out right between this building or fence or whatever that was, and it allows me to get an easy kill right there. Here's another example of how effective just these buggies can be. As you can see, or ATV I should say, to my left right now, a little bit more straight ahead, but a little bit more to my left right now, there's a lot of enemy vehicles. These ATVs allow me to bypass them easily and get really just fast travel. I mean, you can go across the map incredibly quick with those things, and it allows for very strategic placements for spawn beacons. Also, right here, whoa, what's this? A teammate drops a motion sensor down. So what does that let me do? Come up here and take this guy out. This is another example I just cannot stress enough about dropping your motion sensors, especially near objectives. So, let's talk about one of the most important positions and flags to hold on Conquest, in my opinion, and that is the flag with the AC-130 on it. As you can see from the icon to the right of the capture point, you'll see the little AC-130 icon. And I'll talk more about that in just a second, but as far as this particular flag on Armored Shield, sure, I can cap it from down there. It's kind of the big old building. There's big old open area. But you can also capture it from up in here in these little, I don't know, like shack looking. I don't even know what these things are called. But you can capture from in here. And what you should do, drop a spawn beacon in here. Because like this tank destroyer down here, he doesn't know where I'm at. I don't think in a million years he thought I was up in here. This is a really good place for a spawn beacon. Not many enemies will look in here. And it really is a good strategic place to put a spawn beacon, as you'll see coming up in just a second. So what happened? I got shot down by Z11 right there. But wait, what's that? They have the Bravo flag that has the, I think it's Bravo, that has the AC-130 on it. Wait, I've got a spawn beacon there. So what can I do? Spawn in right away and start capturing it back. Now, why is this so important, you may ask? Why in the world is this flag so important? Well, the AC-130 is an incredibly powerful vehicle. Now, it doesn't play a bigger role in Conquest as it does in Rush, but it's still incredibly strong and very, very effective. So having control over this flag allows your team to gain access to the AC-130. Really, whichever team controls the flag controls the AC-130. And as you can see several times here from this video, the enemy team was trying to capture this flag. And what allows us to, capture it back and get the AC-130, I had a spawn beacon down here, which allows me to spawn here and start recapturing the flag. Guys, I recommend putting spawn beacons on whichever flag point on the Conquest map that gives you control of the AC-130. Make sure you put a spawn beacon down there because the AC-130 is an incredibly powerful vehicle. Oftentimes, it can turn the tide of a battle, believe it or not. If you have some kind of anti-air gun or like a really good player in the tank destroyer that's really tearing up your team, the AC-130's power is so incredible, it can just wipe those guys out very, very easily. So be sure to put beacons down on the objectives that have the AC-130 available to your team. And right here, I kind of made a bonehead move, and I decided I'm going to come out here and try to capture the flag in the open. Very bad decision if you're a recon. Make sure you're always capturing objectives in cover because I'm completely exposed right now. I'm an easy target for this helicopter pilot, which I left this clip in here because, honestly, I don't even know what he was doing right there. Somehow I survived the crash, but I paid for my stupidity right here when I get taken out by a tank destroyer. But what is one of the final and most important things to do as a recon player? Spot, 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 spot. Spot helicopter, spot vehicle, spot infantry, everything. Just spot just about every vehicle you see. This allows for not only for you personally to see them, for your squad to see them, but for your entire team to see them. Whether it be like the mobile artillery right there, or helicopters, or anything like that, guys, spotting is one of the most important things you can do as a recon player. And you may be asking yourself, why in the world I start shooting at this thing? Well, actually, there's only one guy allowed in the mobile artillery, and so he, whenever he wants to drive the thing, he has to switch the driver's seat, and he can actually be shot out. So that's kind of, I don't even know why I really shot at it. There's no way I can hit him from this range, but I decided to do that anyway. I don't know, maybe I was just being stupid. But once again, make sure you spot. Even towards the end of the match, look, guys, I'm spotting vehicles for my teammates. So I hope you guys found these tips rather helpful and informative. I'm going to try to bring you guys some more for like assault and as well as some tips for playing recon assault on rush and rush defense as well. So once again, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.